Every so often, you may have noticed the media, much of it, lose their minds. They become obsessed, crazed, fixated on something to the point of madness. And it's happening again.
The freedom fighter leading his country to democracy.
Guaido is investing in the people.
A revitalized opposition leading the charge to topple the dictator there.
The man at the very heart of Venezuela's fight for democracy.
Juan Guaido, the media's darling. It's on every anchor's prompter, on every pundit's lips, on every tabloid hack's script. And they've foregone the whole impartiality thing. Reuters, its Latin American wing, a staple of fair and balanced journalism, changed their Twitter background to this. A picture of Juan Guaido. No secret who they're pushing. The Economist, world famous if not entirely balanced, not even the pretense of balance there. Guaido is on the front page, portrayed as a champion, a hero. If you squint, you might mistake him for the Statue of Liberty. And they want you, their readers, to know it's okay to interfere in Venezuela's affairs because it's for a good cause.
The world's democracies are right to seek change in Venezuela. The question is how.
Democracy is a noble goal. People power. Odd, though, that democracy usually means installing the guy that's friendliest with the West, but just a coincidence, perhaps. Oddly enough, considering how angry America became on the mere suspicion that Russia interfered in its internal affairs, elections, you would think that they wouldn't want to interfere in others' internal affairs. And you'd be wrong. No, Washington is hinting at military intervention to get their guy on the throne. It's clear at this point that what is happening in Venezuela has already been decided.
I wish him a long, quiet retirement on a pretty beach far from Venezuela, and the sooner he takes advantage of that, the sooner he's likely to have a nice, quiet retirement on a pretty beach rather than being in some other beach area like Guantanamo.
There is an agenda in the air, a mission to accomplish, and they're all pushing for it. All of them. The media, Washington, think tanks and activists. We know how this often ends. There's a long and bloody history of America's interventions in Latin America. They pushed for change. They got their way, albeit at a huge cost. Let's just hope that that doesn't happen in Venezuela.
And here we go from the national headquarters of RT America in our nation's capital. And hello again, everybody. I'm Rick Sanchez. We have an exclusive interview for you tonight that you're going to want to hear from Larry Wilkerson. Now, who's Larry Wilkerson? In case you don't know, a lot of people do. He was in the White House when our foreign policy toward Chavez and Venezuela was originally being planned. And we're going to bring that to you in just a little bit. But first, I want to bring you the very latest out of Venezuela. The top military leaders there today declared their loyalty to President Nicolas Maduro, stating that they will not support what they call a coup to replace him. Now, the reason this is so important is because yesterday, after he was pronounced interim president by Mr. Trump, Juan Guaido pleaded with the military to abandon Mr. Maduro, but see, apparently they did not. Now, in what may be a further blow to the opposition, today Russia warned the United States to butt out of Venezuela. President Putin is putting the U.S. on notice that destructive external interference is a gross violation of the, quote, fundamental norms of international law. But U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is ignoring the Putin admonition. He's attacking Maduro nonetheless. He's calling his regime morally bankrupt, economically incompetent, and profoundly corrupt. Pompeo told...
Alright, shalom. This is Chanak Sa'an Ban Yasharala from the GMS Lions in Camp. First and foremost, I'd like to say Kah Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaRikar Kodash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right. You've seen from the videos, here goes once again America and these Edomite nations trying to create their own form of regime change in somebody else's country that doesn't have anything to do with them. It says, the article says, chorus of EU states, including UK, Spain, Australia, recognize Guaido as Venezuela's interim leader. All right, so this is who the United States and these other Edomite countries, part of the EU, want in place of Maduro as president. All right, so basically, in Trump, as you can see from the other video, Trump has already warned them about meddling around with Venezuela. All right, but the United States and NATO and the EU insist on going against what Putin has been saying. But hey, it is what it is, man. It's all according to the will and power of Yahweh Shimon Shai. All right. It says the UK, France, and Spain, among a number of countries, have announced their recognition of Juan Guaido as Venezuela's interim president. At the Caracas did not cave into an ultimatum calling for snap elections with 8 days. Nicolas Maduro has not called presidential election within 8 days, within 8-day limit we have set. So UK, alongside European allies, now recognizes Juan Guaido as interim constitutional president until credible election can be held. UK Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt wrote in a tweet on Monday, Nicolas Maduro has not called presidential elections within 8-day limit we have set. So UK, alongside European allies, now recognizes. So that's the actual tweet, which the secretary, the UK Foreign Secretary wrote. All right, concerning Nicolas Maduro. All right, the whole thing is just so they can, so these countries can put whoever they want in Venezuela just to take the oil, pretty much. It says Germany, France, and Spain issued nearly identical warnings in late January, stating that they would recognize Guaido as the legitimate leader of Venezuela unless new elections were held. The date for this to happen expired overnight from February 3rd to February 4th. In a tweet announcing Australia's support for Guaido, Councillor Sebastian Kurz claimed the president, Nicolas Maduro, has so far refused to accept a free and fair presidential election, leading. All right, but he knows what's going to happen. All right, you redo an election with America and Germany, France, Spain, Australia, UK, all these different countries going to have their hands on it. They're going to generally, initially appoint who they want in there anyway. So you might as well come and get it in blood, is what this man is saying. It's like, okay. So it says, leading Vienna to accept Guaido as Venezuela's lawful leader. Sweden has done the same. Europe's powerhouse, Germany, as well as Denmark, the Netherlands, and Latvia following suit. That sounds like some of the 10 horns, 7 heads and 10 horns on the beast. All right, but you see all these Edomite European countries, European Union, and NATO forces coming up against Venezuela. All right, firing back, Maduro described the demand put forth by the European states as the stuff of the empire of colonial times. Efforts to provide Guaido with an official EU endorsement have apparently fallen flat. However, a source inside Italy's five-star movement told RT that Rome shut down an EU statement meant to recognize Guaido as Venezuela's legitimate leader. While Europe alleges that Maduro has stonewalled the democratic election, critics of the Western enthusiasm for regime change and see, Always somebody from the West, America, wanting to change somebody's regime. All right? It says, the West's enthusiasm for a regime change in Venezuela have pointed out that foreign states should have offered talks rather than meddling in the country. Okay? So what does the scripture say? Meddle not in another man's affairs, man. So here it is, America once again trying to impose their will on another country. And now you have the European Union that's back, which they've always backed them, but are in this decision. So basically, they're telling Venezuela and Russia, we're going to do what we want to do in the first place. All right? Let me get a scripture on that. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. All right? It said, yea, also because who is the soul that's lifted up but is not upright in him? Esau. All right? These are all Edomite countries that are doing this, man. All right? And it says, yea, behold, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. Neither keepeth at home. That's just it. Neither keepeth at home. You got all these other European countries dealing with this matter that has nothing to do with them, but it's for them to steal the resources out of the land and control what they want to control, man. All right, the Edomites, the crackers, the devils don't keep it at home, man. All right, it says, all right, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. See, there's no satisfying this devil, man. All right, it says, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth up to him all people. All right, that's just it. All right. Let me read verse 6, and I'm going to close it out with that. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his? How long unto him that ladeth himself with thick clay? And America is further and further putting themselves in debt with that dollar. That word clay means debt. All right? So the Most High is going to rise up against these, not for the sake of, Venezuela, because there are Israelites over there, you know what I'm saying? But for the sake of his name and for the sake of what he said he was going to do, he's going to lift up the pride in Esau to destroy him, just like how he did Pharaoh, man. All right, with that being said, I want to say, Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakah Kadash, Harakah Kadash, Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth, and Sarah in truth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.